The double life is a version of betrayal that doesn't begin with a decision. It doesn't start with a moment where someone says, "Today I'm going to start leading a double life." It begins quietly, invisibly. A conversation that lasts longer than it should have. Conversations that occur more than they should have. A message that brings a kind of excitement you haven't felt in years. A message that you wait for. A feeling that someone finally sees you. And that is how it starts. Not with a choice, but with a shift. Slowly, without realizing it, one life becomes two. In one life, there is routine, responsibility, history, shared meals, familiar conversations, conflict, arguments, predictable patterns. In the other life, there is energy, attention, emotional intensity. You feel alive again, desired again, understood again. One feels stable but dull, old, familiar, known. The other feels exciting but secret. And somewhere in between, your mind quietly adjusts. It creates two separate worlds, two emotional realities, two versions of you. To live a double life, the mind has to do something very powerful. It separates. This is not just about lying to another person. It is about organizing your own internal world in a way that prevents conflict. The relationship at home lives in one space. It is built on commitment, history, responsibility. The outside connection lives in another space. It's built on validation, excitement, emotional intensity. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Both feel real to you at the same time. You can love your partner and still feel deeply connected to someone else. You can feel sincere in both worlds. So how does the mind handle this contradiction? It keeps them apart. It doesn't let them collide. Because if they collide, everything breaks. In the beginning, it feels manageable. You create rules in your head. This is temporary. We are just talking. No boundaries crossed. Just friends. No one will get hurt. I am in control. These thoughts protect you. They reduce the discomfort. They allow you to continue. But emotions don't stay still. What starts as something light begins to grow. The connection deepens. It asks for more time, more attention, more emotional energy. And slowly something changes. You are no longer managing it. It's managing you. The biggest shift isn't physical. It's emotional. Your attention begins to move. The things you used to share with your partner, your thoughts, your frustrations, your little moments, they start going somewhere else. You You start texting someone else before, laughing with someone else more, opening up to someone else deeper. And without saying it aloud, your partner begins to receive less of you, less presence, less curiosity, less emotional energy, less attention. And that is what's dangerous. The relationship at home starts to feel empty. Not because it has changed, but because you have. At the same time, the outside connection feels stronger, more meaningful, more alive. But that's because it is receiving the best parts of you: your attention, your vulnerability, your focus. To keep going, something else begins to happen. You start rewriting reality. You revisit old disappointments in your relationship. I never wanted it. She was always like this. You focus more on what is wrong, on what was wrong, what's missing. Moments of disconnection feel bigger. Flaws feel heavier, more. And slowly a new story forms in your mind. This relationship was already broken. I never wanted it. It just happened by chance. I didn't choose her. This is happening for a reason, because we have nothing. I deserve this. It doesn't always feel like a lie. It feels like clarity. But in all cases, or maybe in most, it is a way to reduce your own guilt, a way to justify what you are doing, because the truth is harder to face. It is not just happening to you, you are choosing it, and you are rationalizing it, you are justifying it. But no matter how well you manage it, secrecy always comes with a cost. You have to monitor everything: your phone, your words, your time. You need to think before you speak. You need to remember what you said and what you didn't. You need to lie. You hide messages. You create explanations. The falsehood increases. You manage emotions. And over time, it becomes exhausting. There's always a background tension, a quiet anxiety, a fear of being discovered. Even in the happy moments, something feels off, because part of you knows this cannot last. And something deeper happens. You start to feel divided. In one space, you are responsible, committed, familiar. In another space, you are free, desired, alive. Both versions feel real, but they don't connect. So you begin to shift between identities, not integrate them, but switch between the two. And that creates something dangerous, a fragmented self. You ask questions you didn't expect. Who am I really? What do I actually want? How did I get here? Because this isn't just about two relationships anymore. It is about two versions of you that no longer align. Eventually, every double life reaches a point, a breaking point. the balance becomes harder to maintain. The outside connection wants more clarity, more commitment, more of you. The distance in the relationship at home begins to increase. The one at home begins to feel the change, the absence, and you feel pulled in both directions. This is where reality starts to close in. You are forced to choose. Continue the double life and deepen the divide. End the outside connection and face what's left at home. Or let the truth come out and deal with the consequences. None of these options are easy. Each one comes with a loss. Each one requires confrontation. And each one asks a difficult question. What are you willing to face? Because underneath all of this, there is something deeper. The double life is not just about attraction. It is about opportunity, about needs, a desire to feel seen, to feel valued, to feel alive again. And all those needs are real. But when they are pursued in secrecy, they don't bring fulfillment. They bring division. You don't gain something, you split yourself, trying to hold everything. What begins as an expansion of your life becomes a fragmentation of your identity. You are not living anymore, you are dividing your attention, dividing your presence, dividing your truth. And over time, that division demands resolution. Because a double life cannot remain hidden forever. At some time, it asks to be seen. It asks to be confronted. And it asks you, not just what you are doing, but who are you becoming? And maybe the real question is not how did this happen, but what part of me was I trying to find in a place I knew I couldn't stay? But until that question is answered honestly, the pattern doesn't end, it only changes form. If this made you think differently about relationships, about choices, or even about yourself, then it is worth sitting with. Not judging, not reacting, just understanding. Because awareness is where everything begins to change. And sometimes the hardest truth to face is this. You were never managing two lives. You were slowly losing one, including yourself.